Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into one of the most explosive courtroom showdowns in the case of music mogul Diddy. And let me tell you, the scene inside the courtroom was like a heavyweight fight. On one side, money, power, and superstar lawyers bending every word of the law. On the other, the prosecutors, the judge, and victims desperate to be heard. Diddy walked in wearing a beige jumpsuit, trying to look humble with his gray hair, playing the role of a suffering old man. But in his eyes, I didn't see an ounce of remorse. It looked like a bad performance in a movie where everyone already knows the script. Shapiro, Diddy's star attorney, stepped up and immediately flexed his past victories. He cited the Lopez case, bragging that he had once beaten the U.S. government itself. His message: "I've won bigger fights. I know the law better than anyone here." But honestly, it was laughable. Like a retired soccer player waving around his 1998 medal to demand a free pass today. Times change, evidence changes, and an old win doesn't erase present guilt. Judge Aaron, running the hearing, had no patience for it. He cut Shapiro short right away. "If you've already said it, don't waste another 15 minutes. Get to the point." A mic drop that froze the room. He wasn't going to let empty speeches shake him. Then Prosecutor Emily Johnson struck back, citing U.S. v. Kelly, 2025. She pointed out that Diddy's defense was relying on a Rule 29 motion, arguments that were already waived because they weren't filed at the proper stage. In plain English, Shapiro turned his homework in late, and the law doesn't reward late submissions. This was a crushing blow, because if the court allowed it, any rich defendant could stall trials forever, waiting for public outrage to cool before slipping away. Meanwhile, outside the courtroom, social media turned into a circus. Strangely, Diddy's loudest defenders weren't fangirls. They were grown men, podcasters, and YouTubers live streaming daily, defending Diddy like he'd hand them VIP tickets. Honestly, it was pathetic. People joke that women are the ones who idolize blindly, but these men looked like groupies for a fallen star. Back inside, the key issue was clear. Diddy's lawyers wanted Rule 29 to throw out the charges or reopen the case. But prosecutors argued those points had to be made under Rule 12 before the trial began. Judge Aaron hammered it again. "Don't ignore waiver." Translation: Diddy missed his train. He can't go back to the station now. Hearing this, I couldn't help but think of other big cases. Harvey Weinstein tried to argue that every encounter was consensual. The evidence buried him. R. Kelly escaped his first trial because the prosecution was weak. But when new evidence came, he went down. Even Jeffrey Epstein, with all his powerful connections, wasn't saved by money when the truth came out. Diddy is walking that same road, clinging to loopholes while the truth looms larger every day. Judge Aaron then dropped the hammer on mens rea, criminal intent. In law, you don't have to physically commit the act. If you knew, arranged, and willed it to happen, you're guilty. And against Diddy, the evidence piles up. Texts, emails, hotel rooms booked in advance, and, yes, even the infamous baby oil detail. That alone gave me chills. A billionaire mogul, carefully preparing every detail for his dark parties. That's not a chance. That's a calculation. Pressed into a corner, Shapiro tried another angle, claiming this was just voyeurism, watching, not prostitution. He even called victims mistresses or concubines, painting them as willing lovers instead of victims. To me, That was a cheap shot. When you can't deny the truth, you smear the witnesses. But instead of helping, it made the defense look desperate. Judge Aaron shot back with the Cleveland case, where even polygamy was ruled an immoral purpose, meaning the law was far broader than Shapiro's spin. Once again, Shapiro hit a wall. And that's when I realized the bitter truth. Inside the courtroom, it's not about how bad Diddy is. It's about whether the law, as written, is strong enough to convict him. Outside, the public cries for justice. Inside, it's all about definitions, motions, and procedure. If the law isn't airtight, money buys time, and time buys escape. That's the scary part. So, will Diddy get away? My view, highly unlikely. Judge Aaron has already locked onto mens rea and willfully causing. That means every act, booking rooms, flying in escorts, even baby oil, becomes proof of intent. Shapiro can cite all the case law he wants. He can argue smoothly. But smooth words don't equal truth. One way or another, this case will go down in history as proof that money can buy the best lawyers, but not a permanent shield against the truth. What do you think? Will Diddy slip through the cracks with legal wordplay, or will he finally be held accountable? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Because, trust me, this is only the opening chapter in a long, messy saga of Diddy versus justice in America.